Today, contrary to the name, after 10 years it turns out there were many mans in that sky. This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint. Oh my god, what's that behind you?
There's nothing behind me.
No, but hopefully I got somebody with that. Online 3D asset marketplace CGTrader had distressing news to share with the internet. 1 in 6 assets uploaded to their website is AI generated. This is, of course, another bellwether for slop encroaching on all aspects of our life. Soon we'll be seeing these models show up in video games and metaverse museum tours and internet porn. Except maybe we won't. CGTrader also announced that these AI assets are only responsible for generating $1 out of every $90 in revenue the site earns. Their takeaway? AI is entering the catalog rapidly, but buyers aren't yet opening their wallets for it. That's from a press release about their 2026 Market Trends report. CGTrader highlighted this because they want you to know that buyers do not want to buy AI-generated models because they're not as good as human-made 3D models. 20% of buyers who did buy an AI-generated model found it not good enough. And 7% use it only with heavy editing. Only 5% said it worked well. AI-generated work is essentially becoming an ad for human-only work, and CGTrader wants everyone to know that you should not waste your time buying AI-generated models when they have perfectly good human-made models constructed with attention and care. And of course they want that. If I went to CGTrader and saw an AI-generated model of, like, a lamppost or some shit, and it said, made with AI, why in God's name would I pay for that? Why wouldn't I just go ask Claude or Flumpo or Fuckshot and demand it create the same thing for me for free? You think your ability to type an idea into a text box makes you a 3D modeler? Motherfucker, I write words into this text box every week, and even I don't consider myself a journalist.
A new world record speedrun for Super Mario Bros. Was set this year, pushing the current best run only 6 frames away from a perfect run. Brazilian speedrunner Lakuki achieved the feat live on stream and then immediately regretted not being able to pop off because his dad was at home. And I can relate, having also been 6 frames away from perfection, but ultimately stymied by the presence of my parents. High school is a challenging time for many of us. Anyhow, Lakuki added his name to world record holders in June of this year. Only the 10th name on that list, by the way. But another one of those record holders, a runner named Cosmic, spread the news just last week in a very informative YouTube essay. It turns out Lakuki had a very difficult start to his speedrunning career. He first became interested in Mario speedrunning back in 2019, but at the time he could only access the game through an emulator on his PS2. Even with this constraint, he was able to get noticed in the speedrunning community and was eventually helped out with donations. As soon as Lakuki had amassed all of the gear required to play video games from the 1980s for an audience of dedicated 21st century fans, he began making things happen. A world record in the lost levels came first, then some more hardware troubles, a reinvention of the NES controller technique that reminds me of our story on Tetris last year, and eventually a run of Super Mario completed in just 4 minutes and 54.365 seconds. Just 100 milliseconds short of the fastest possible time. While Lakuki's run is very impressive, it's noteworthy that Super Mario Bros. Even manages to attract new players at all in the subjective reality we call the present. In fact, since the newest world record, a flurry of activity in the speedrunning community points to a perfect run coming imminently. This feat was once considered impossible, then unlikely, and now very probable. Like my dad going on vacation and hearing nothing that went on in the basement, victory is inevitable.
We take you now to glamorous Wisconsin, USA, where a remarkable find was made. 97 copies of Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt, lavishly paired on the same cartridge, were found in storage belonging to, and you'll never guess who, a local retro game store, of all places. These cartridges are not rare because they feature Mario running from right to left, as in the original Japanese release, or because this version of Duck Hunt is the one where the dog is nude and the title screen says Fuck Hunt. No, it's rare because they were printed 2 whole years after the last known printing of the original cartridge. That's a big deal, because once these cartridges find their way into a top loader and have a 10 stamped on the front, they could be worth millions of dollars, or billions of Latverian kroner, if anyone feels empty enough to purchase and add yet another variant of Mario Duck Hunt to their Brobdingnan storage unit. It's good then that these cartridges were found in a box, put into another box, and will soon be sold to someone to store in yet another box. Commerce!
Against all odds, No Man's Sky just turned 10. The game was met with what we called mixed reviews at launch, but since then it's received over 40 updates and matured into what is a respected and enjoyable experience. As part of the celebration around its anniversary, Hello Games founder and managing director Sean Murray shared an open letter to the game's community in which he stated that despite a decade of play by tens of millions of gamers, they have explored less than 1% of No Man's Sky's planets. Scientists once speculated that humanity could explore and colonize the galaxy in fewer than 100,000 years, but No Man's Sky players are on track to do the same task in just a millennium. Consider, it took humanity way more than 10 years to explore even 1% of the Earth's surface, I assume, and then probably a lot longer than that to realize we had explored it at all. Then, we had to wait a really long time to invent romanticism because we had forgotten that unexplored nature is dangerous and uncomfortable. In No Man's Sky, once the last predatory creature is killed, are we going to see the emergence of No Man's Sky romanticism? Do we know if the Artemis Path has ever betrayed the heart that loved it? Will travelers develop a theory and practice of ecology? These aren't the only questions this revelation provokes. How will we know when the last pristine world is found and paved? How long will it take to find unexplored worlds once their number becomes tiny compared to the explored ones? How does a sci-fi universe feel once the gameplay stops being physics and starts being Bayesian statistics? Will No Man's Sky servers still be active in 900 years? What about in 9 years? Climate change and predatory capitalism aren't just threatening life on Earth. Now they're threatening every fictional galaxy too. We must ensure the continuity of our society on the No Man's Sky galactic timescale so that our great-great-great-grandchildren can complete our work of, mostly just screwing around, but still.
The Saber Interactive game, Rideshare Stimulator, was announced for Steam wishlisting purposes this week, and this story isn't about how we should all be worried by why-ever stimulator is in air quotes. No, instead, it's a story about how former narrative writer at Saber, Stella Sacco, posted to Blue Sky that a previously unnamed game for which she had been the lead writer and was then fired so she could be replaced by ChatGPT was indeed Rideshare. That should be the end of the story. But that wouldn't make a very interesting story, so why am I still talking? See, she also said that Saber isn't disclosing its use of Gen AI on Steam, like companies are supposed to do. When asked for a comment, a Saber spokesperson said that not only do they use AI, but they consider it a feature, while also saying, quote, neither Saber nor Uni-Engine have replaced any writers with AI for Rideshare or any other game. This elicited a reply from Sacco, who said, quote, they can say what they want. I was there. They took me off the project to use ChatGPT to write the rest of the text, including planned live updates. If they changed plans in the intervening years, that's great, but again, I was there, and it was my job to write the game, and then it wasn't once CEO Matt Karch decided using ChatGPT would be great publicity for the game. Which finally brings us to the moist, juicy center of why this is even a story. The following generationally awful response from CEO Matt Karch himself, pictured here on his private jet. A statement so unwell that in a just world we would wake up tomorrow to the news of him hastily resigning before the board could hurl him out a window. But also a statement that I will read in full. Quote, Stella who? I had to ask Claude because I've never spoken to her or seen her. We have already said we're using AI for certain parts of the game and will update the Steam page once we've finalized the feature set. Let me clarify that the entire story script, were it to win an award, would go to someone who can walk up on stage and receive it. It was always our intention to reveal this until Stella violated her confidentiality clause and revealed this before we were ready. We look at our use of AI in this particular game, which will be a lower price title, as a plus for consumers. As far as Stella is concerned, she was replaced by someone more talented and terminated for a variety of reasons a few months later. From what I can gather, she enjoys controversy even more than I do. I would frankly, in retrospect, have been happy to replace her with AI. At least we would be dealing with someone programmed to be honest. So, Matt, it's somehow her fault you don't get to reveal how you might have acted if the game happened to win a writing award. And she was terminated for a variety of unnamed other reasons, and she was replaced with someone you say was more talented, but you've never seen or even heard of her? If you'll permit me to get super Canadian about it, you're a weak captain, bud. You're as soft as a newborn Samoyed and probably just as damp. This is the kind of public statement that should bring on a non-confidence vote more devastating than when Pearson ousted Diefenbaker. Does an AI dose your ketamine? Because I think it's trying to kill you.
That man needs a hockey stick to Kazifit.
You mean the taint there?
Sure do.
Why'd you call it the Kazifit?
Because if it wasn't there, your guts would fall out.
Ah, for sure.
Coming up, Five Nights at Freddy's and American Dream are going to be opening a real-life Freddy Fazbear's Pizza location with 2 animatronic stage shows. Isn't it going to be disappointing if the animatronics don't malfunction and kill everyone? I can see the reviews now. Mediocre pizza, was still alive at the end of the night, 2 stars. So I poked in on a Reddit thread to see how people had reacted to the CEO of Saber Interactive.
Oh, it's very funny.
I mean, he's obviously, from his private jet, operating under the assumption that all publicity is good publicity. But I can tell you that the public opinion against a game that nobody cared about very much and probably wouldn't have made a splash at all, but maybe it would have it had it been funny and like genuinely well written, like a professional writer could do, instead has turned, I would say, virulently and vehemently negative.
There was because people went to Sacco afterwards and were like, do you see what this loser is saying about you? And I didn't include that in the story because her response was essentially almost exactly her response was like, there's nothing that I can say now that will be as embarrassing as what he has just done. Like there's like this as I said, in a just world, that would be a career-ending statement for a CEO to make. But that's not the world we live in. But
yeah, that's how you can tell she's a professional writer, because a professional writer knows better than to gild the lily. To know when to cut it off.
No, that lily is doing its job. So I wrote that story, as you may be able to infer. As you also may be able to infer, the one that featured a shoulder graphic of a classical painting, that was Cameron's.
Yep.
The classical art density on the show has risen considerably since Cameron started writing. Nelson wrote the story, the other one that you read about the Mario speedrunning, which is just a nice
kind
and
of
cool
a wholesome story about a guy who overcame many odds to be one of the GOATs.
Yeah, I love also that it's like when he finally achieved the gear required to play 1980s video games for a 21st century audience. And it's like, oh, that is actually annoying to get an NES connected to a PC so that you can stream it.
Oh, yeah.
It's not difficult. There are HDMI to RCA adapters, and everything, but it's a little irritating.
It's not
and like frame rates are different, and because they feature Mario running left to right to left, the other way. And then Beej wrote the other stories, the one about speaking of Mario, the Mario and Duck Hunt. Very weird. That's just like, yeah, we have this massive crate of games that were apparently made 2 years after we thought they'd stop making Mario and Duck Hunt. So that's...
Where did these games come from? Are these sophisticated fakes?
Beep, beep, beep. And then Beej also wrote the story about the CGTrader, which I think is very fun. I mean, as Beej points out, I think it's very funny that the marketplace was like, these are bad and people don't like them. It's like, you should stop doing this. We'll let you do it because, like, I mean, $1's $1, but we're only making so little money on it because people don't like it.
I mean, here's the deal, though. Like Beej said in the story, CGTrader is very incentivized to be like, don't buy AI slop things, or like AI slop is not good, so come here to buy our actual reputable wares.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, because like you can't copyright the AI stuff, and yeah, why would I pay someone to write a prompt when I could just write the prompt? But probably it would be easier for me and have a better result to pay an artist.
I've had to deal with some people who are enamored of the idea of AI in my life recently. And I've found great success in asking them to ask the AI about something that they know about. And then once they realize how wrong it is, then I can say, now, please respect my opinion when I tell you this is lying to you about this. And usually that's actually gone over very well.
Works out okay. Oh, yes. The coming up there. The making a real life Freddy Fazbear Pizza joint is just, that is so, that's the torment nexus. You keep you got to stop doing it.
I mean, either you've made a very miserable off-brand Chuck E. Cheese, which already exudes off-brand energy, or you're going to have to kill some teenagers.
If I wanted to go to a shitty Chuck E. Cheese, I'd just go to a Chuck E. Cheese.
Exactly. Exactly. It already feels like it's a knockoff of something more pleasurable, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a secret escape room thing.
I think there is actually like some sort of, horror experience.
Surely there has to be.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like...
Because no one's taking their kids to this if they know better, right?
Yeah.
I'm not traumatizing an 8-year-old.
We take you now to glamorous Wisconsin, USA, where one kind of funny and like a let them fight kind of way addendum to the Rideshare Stimulator story is that in the trailer there's a license plate on one of the cars that is USB DRV or USB drive, which is a reference to and making fun of that time that Randy Pitchford inadvertently left a USB drive of barely legal porn at a medieval times. Do you remember this story?
Vaguely.
Look, I'm just saying, put Randy Pitchford and Matt Karch in a wrestling ring or a sealed room or a box in the sea.
How about a doomed private jet?
And let them sort it out. But I'm happy. It's like I said, let them fight.
I assume any reference that subtle and clever was the work of firefighter Stella Stacco.
Anyway, if you want to see more subtle and clever jokes, please support Loading Ready Run and everything that we do here on our Patreon or by becoming a member on this YouTube channel. Member shout-outs at the end of the video. But we really appreciate you all being here and watching our stuff. We had a vertical video go really pop off the other day. So if you are a TikToker, follow Loading Ready Run and CheckPoint on TikTok. They're two separate accounts because we put up a CheckPoint story basically every day. So we didn't want to flood the Loading Ready Run one with it. And if you're not a TikToker, that's fine. Follow the channel, all that good stuff. Okay, that's
Bye.
it. Bye, everybody. I think I handled Brobdingnian okay.
I think it was okay.
All right. Beej wrote it down. And I said, you motherfucker, and then asked him what it meant and how to spell it, or how to say it.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of Lilliputian, which for some reason, that one I know, but
well, because Lilliputian
never...
Lilliputian rolls off the tongue.
It's easier to say.
Yeah. That's why we've internalized it as a language piece.
The Lilliputians don't like it when you internalize them.
I just appreciate that, wait, what does this word mean? Oh, just somebody made it up in the 1800s. That's why it doesn't make any sense. La 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 la.